Hello everyone. When I make custom stages, I seek out to make stages that are competitively accessible while still being casually enjoyable. I believe these 9 stages I've created have danced around that line sufficiently, and I would like to show them all to you today. The first stage is completely basic, Tiquono's Dojo. This stage has inverted Battlefield platforms. It's also taller than Battlefield, which on one hand might make it seem completely broken, but on the other hand, the blast zones on this stage are pretty big. The second stage is Whirlwind Gate. This is sorta like Smashville, but with little slopes in the middle, and a platform that not only moves left to right, but also moves up and down, roughly according to the peaks of the stage. And those moments when the platform lines up just perfectly with your combo are fewer and farther between. But when they do, that platform is up just high enough that you can extend pretty far up into the air. The third stage is The Experiment. This is another Smashville-like stage, but with one very major difference. This block is not a soft platform. This is a moving ceiling and wall that you will have to consider whether or not to tech off if your opponent is ready to combo out of your missed tech, or out of your successful tech. It's a gameplay wrinkle that this stage has very unique to itself, and I think that alone makes it very interesting. The fourth stage is Cannon Carrier. It's a stage with some variable elevation on its main platform, 2 side platforms, and cannons in its top corners. You would think these cannons would completely dominate the disadvantage game. However, in practice, they tend to not be too intrusive. They're something you can definitely play towards and try to DI into when you're about to die. But these platforms are high enough that you can get over them, and the ledges are low enough that you can get under them. So horizontal kill moves are not severely nerfed on this stage. Not to mention, you can actually punish someone out of being launched out of a cannon, so hitting someone into them from far enough away will set you up nicely for a perfect KO. Fifth is the closest thing to Final Destination in this stage list, Big Mustache Man. It is not flat all the way along the bottom, gentle slopes abound. The variable terrain is honestly just more interesting for everyone involved, and the little bits of flat ground there are make it so that things don't go completely haywire. Now we're moving into what I would call my counterpick custom stages, and the first one is Kitty Coliseum. There are 2 gimmicks to this stage. Number 1, the moving top platform, which stretches the same distance as the main platform. And number 2, these teeth. Once again, these are variable terrain that you can tech off, but because of how low this top platform gets, that might not always be a good idea. This top platform not only goes low in order to create a ceiling, but it goes high in order to create an awesome combo extender. The next counterpick is Icebreaker, a deceptively simple stage with one key difference. It's made entirely of ice. The platform doesn't move, but even if it did, that would be the least of your worries. Knowing how to adapt to the ice physics will make or break your game on this stage. However, these ice physics also open up new tech, such as shield sliding. If you run up and shield while dashing, you will keep your momentum from running and slide across the ice while shielding, without necessarily losing your frame advantage. Not only is every character's shield buffed, but certain burst options are buffed as well, such as Captain Falcon's Falcon Kick. If you can adapt to the ice physics well enough, you can show your mastery of control over your character. Space Junk is the next stage on our list. There's 2 things you should know about this stage. It's the only small stage, and it has no outside ledges. The only ledges on this stage are on the center platform. The good thing is this center platform sinks low enough to be reasonably reachable, while also rising high enough to be insanely powerful in the right circumstances. And last, we have my magnum opus, Burning Bulge. Burning Bulge is effectively a cave with patches of lava around the inside. But I do say patches because there are quite a few spaces with no lava on the walls to tech. This means that you have to use a combination of DI and quick thinking to DI towards the parts of the walls that you can tech. Or, there are situations where you may want to bounce off the lava to prevent your opponent from extending their combo on you and possibly putting you in an even worse position. While there are times when you will just get spiked through the bottom or killed off the top, the vast majority of kills will come from using the lava to its fullest, without necessarily sacrificing strategy. You might wonder how a character like Donkey Kong with his cargo up throw wouldn't be broken on this stage, until you remember he can get spiked by the lava too, and his vertical recovery practically doesn't exist, especially not on this stage. Whatever your character has, one of those things better be good throws or launchers, because otherwise, you might have a tough time on this stage. I don't expect people to suddenly praise my stages for magnificent design or anything, but I do think they have been thoroughly checked for serious problems. Now, is there still the possibility for campy characters to camp you out? Certainly. Is there still the possibility for rushdown characters to overwhelm you with even more junk than they usually do? Certainly. There is always the possibility for the annoying characters to be annoying, whatever that looks like for you. But I think these stages also do a good job at letting other characters play to their annoying strengths, even more than they already do. The fact of the competitive environment is that you have to use whatever tools you have to your advantage, and that doesn't change on these stages. There's still no items, there's relatively straightforward hazards that you intentionally use to your advantage, and of course, there's enough regular old fighting space for proper neutral interactions to take place. Except maybe space junk. Except maybe space junk, but I'd still argue that one's fine. Regardless, if you'd like to try out these custom stages, let me know, and as soon as I get an opportunity, I will upload them and post them in the pinned comment below. Apart from that, I hope you have a wonderful day. Thank you for watching.